Welcome back for another healthy recipe. My name is Candace Bell and I am a dietetic intern at OSF St. Francis Medical Center. Today we're going to be talking about desserts. Desserts can be a part of a healthy diet. You should treat yourself, but desserts should only be eaten in moderation. You want to keep your desserts lower than 200 calories per serving, and think of it as another way to get in your fruits and vegetables. For instance, I would choose angel food cake with fresh strawberries over a chocolate cake with icing. I know I'm getting another serving of fruit, which is good for me, has good nutrients, good fiber, and it'll help me all around. When you are cooking or baking desserts, think about healthy substitutions you can make. For instance, using applesauce or yogurt, or even using a Splenda blend that is half sugar, half Splenda to decrease your sugar content in that recipe. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you a rhubarb apple crisp. Now this is an awesome recipe because I'll show you here in a minute that I'll be combining fruits and vegetables, healthy nuts, healthy oils, as well as whole grains. So let's get started. Right here I have about 4 cups of chopped rhubarb. Now you could buy this fresh or frozen. I decided to use frozen rhubarb, and it's usually in the fruit section of grocery stores. But many people don't know that rhubarb is actually a vegetable. So it has a very bitter taste. So to sweeten up the rhubarb, I'm going to be adding 2 large gala apples. Now I'm going to leave the skin on the apples to increase the fiber intake or the fiber content of the recipe. And to the mixture, I'm going to add 2.5 tablespoons of Splenda brown sugar. Now this is half brown sugar, half Splenda, so we're decreasing the sugar content of the recipe. And then we're going to add a little bit of cornstarch, about 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch to thicken up the filling of the recipe. You're going to give that a good stir. Make sure you're getting the sugar and the cornstarch all mixed up with the rhubarb and the apple. Now rhubarb, a lot of people don't know this, is that the leaves are actually poisonous. They're toxic for humans to eat the leaves of rhubarb, so only eat the stalks of the rhubarb. So after that's all mixed, I'm going to throw it into an 8x8 baking dish that's been sprayed with cooking oil. Make sure you get all of it. Using cooking spray instead of butter decreases the calories of the recipe. And now we need to make the topping. So after that's done, we're going to set that aside and then make the topping. So the topping is made up of about 3/4 of oat flour. Now if you don't have oat flour at home, don't worry. You can just blend up, or in a blender or a food processor, regular oats, and then it can turn into oat flour. Just a quick tip for you. 3/4 cup oat flour. We have 3/4 cup quick oats, a 1/3 cup of chopped pecans. So the oat flour and the oats are your whole grains. And the pecans are our healthy nuts that we're including into our dessert. To this, we're going to add our spices. We're going to have a little bit of nutmeg. Let's see. About 1/2 teaspoon. 3/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. A little bit of salt, about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And finally, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. This is pure maple syrup, not the kind that you buy in jars. Pure maple syrup. Make sure you check the ingredients label. So lastly, to our toppings, we're going to add the butter. I've already melted about 2 tablespoons in the microwave. And the butter that I use is actually Country Crock Spreadable Sticks margarine. Now, margarine is has no cholesterol and is lower in saturated fat. So it's better for you than regular butter. And saturated fat is the fat that clogs our arteries. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to our topping mixture. And then we're just going to use a fork, or you can use your fingers to kind of mix that all around. And it'll start forming into chunks. So this is a great, easy recipe. Rhubarb and apples are in season similar times of the year. So if you're growing both of them, or if you go to the farmer's market, you can get some apples and some rhubarb and make a really nice, healthy dish. Now, this 1/8 of a serving of this recipe is about 200 calories. So it's at your max amount of calories for a healthy dessert. So once that's all mixed up, we're going to add it to the top of our rhubarb and apple mixture. And then you're going to bake it in the oven at 375 degrees. You're going to bake it a little bit with aluminum foil over top, and then take it out, remove the aluminum foil, and then you're going to bake it for another 25 to 30 minutes so that the top will get nice and brown and crispy. Make sure you add it all. And then if you want to have a side of a little scoop of ice cream or a little bit of Cool Whip, I'd recommend the Cool Whip. It's a little lower in calories. Makes it for a really nice, healthy dessert. And here's the finished product. Have a little bit of Cool Whip on top. Just try a little bite of it. You don't even know you're eating vegetables and fruits. It tastes so good. Very, very good for you. So, thank you for joining me. And like I said, healthy desserts can be a great part of your diet in moderation. Try to include your vegetables, your fruits, your healthy nuts into your desserts. And our recipes are always online at Sheraton Valley, at cvalley.net on Sheraton Valley's website. So please take a look and check them out. I would really recommend you trying them at home. Thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you next time.